Hey guys, it's Tina here, and welcome back to the I Am Kate podcast. Today, I actually want to talk about emotional labor, and talking to one of my friends actually confirmed that, this is the topic that I need to discuss. Emotional labor is considered being able to manage your feelings and expressions in order to fulfill a duty. So, pretty much being able to self-regulate so that you can show up for other people. And so emotional labor actually has a negative connotation, especially when it comes to work, where you always have to dismiss how you're feeling in order to exist, in order to do a good job, in order for people to view you as having positive or good customer service. You have to show up in a certain way in order to be able to be of service to others. So emotional labor is not considered to be about yourself, but really about others. Even when it comes to the self, like having to encourage yourself, saying affirmations, having to hype yourself up or change your mood in order for you to be able to exist in a certain moment is emotional labor. So say I'm going out to a party and I'm really not in the mood, I really don't feel like interacting with others or whatever, but I know that I have this obligation to show up to this party. So I decide, okay, today I'm going to pump myself up, hype myself up in order to be able to have a good time, or seemingly have a good time while at this party. And so when it comes to emotional labor, because it is work, it can be stressful, because it is a duty or an obligation to show up in a certain way. It can be a stressful experience. And so in our relationships, we have a certain amount of emotional labor that we are obligated to do because we are trying to coexist as a unit. And so we are our own individual people. We've gone through our own experiences, and relationships require emotional support. You want to be able to confide in your partner. You want to feel heard and understood and supported by your partner, and that takes emotional work. You have to carry a part of their emotions as well as your own. And so I feel that there is a healthy level of being able to separate yourself from your emotions in order to be a good partner to your partner when you need to be. And the same when it comes to friendships. I made a very controversial statement when it came to people showing up for their friends when they're in need, because the mental health space kind of turned into, oh, I need to ask this person if they have the capacity to listen to me today, if they have the time, or if they're in an emotional space to be able to listen to me today. And so I just think about the times that I did need to express myself to my friends, and they were just there. There was never a time where I had to ask for permission to confide in my friend. And I believe that at some point the mental health space turned into a very sensitive place for people, to where it seemed like nobody had the capacity to deal with other people's emotions or feelings, or like everybody was pushed to, oh, you need to go to therapy or you need to heal or whatever, where our support system, our everyday support system, is there to sustain us. And people don't understand that. Like, your therapist is going to help you to use your natural supports, the people that are already around you, to be able to provide that support and to be able to help you through challenging circumstances. So when you are a loner or someone that doesn't make friends easily, or someone that maybe makes friends but don't have the healthiest friendships, it is difficult for you to coexist with others. It's difficult for you to feel supported because the environment that you're in is not supportive. And so when it comes to emotional labor, all of us have to do it. We have to do it in our personal lives. We have to do it at work. And it is just up to us to develop the tools that we need in order to be able to have a healthy amount, give a healthy amount of emotional labor, because sometimes it is too much. Sometimes the trauma that someone else is dealing with is too much for you to carry, and that is when the experts come in, like the therapist and the psychologist and the psychiatrist come in to help to provide that support until that person can be independent and on their own. All of us have to have the tools to be able to self-regulate, and at some point in your life you got to a place where you could not self-regulate, you could not cope, you could not get out of bed, you could not take care of yourself or show up for your friends in the way that you're used to showing up for them, and even show up for yourself in the way that you're used to showing up for yourself. And so I know personally, in the experiences that I've recently gone through, I made it to a place where it was difficult for me to self-regulate. And so it can show up, for me it shows up as being obsessive when it comes to conversation. So sending messages back to back, just pushing out a message nonstop because you're feeling unheard or unsupported, or whatever it is that is difficult for you to cope with. You kind of place it on another person because it's difficult for you to self-regulate. And so that is something that I recognize that I did. And now that I have the awareness, I can slow things down for myself. I'm like, okay, Martina, you're in a place where it's difficult for you to self-regulate. So now you have to take your time to get back to a place where you can take care of yourself, take care of your emotions, listen to yourself, support yourself. And so I started doing video journals. I would open up my phone and I would just say whatever it was on my mind in that moment, whatever it is, negative, positive, I would just say it out loud because it helped me to self-regulate without having to have the reassurance of another person, without having to have that next person validate my feelings or tell me that my feelings are right, or tell me that they understand me. It was up to me to be able to express what I'm feeling while providing my own validation to myself. And so that is something that you all could use doing the video journal, so that you can speak what's going on with you, and so that you can hear yourself talk about what you're feeling. And maybe later on you can go back and listen to it when you're in a different place and you're like, wow, I was feeling that way, and I'm glad that I was able to work through that. So I am going to encourage you to, if you've never done this before, try doing a video journal. Open up your phone, record yourself talking. It may be awkward at first, but it's definitely going to be helpful. And let me know how it goes. Please like, comment, and subscribe so that I can continue to share these messages with you through I Am Kate.